welcome to Reimagine with Renata. I'm your host, Renata Del Carmen, and this podcast is your go-to space for faith, fashion, and lifestyle inspiration, designed to empower you to live boldly, love deeply, and walk confidently in your purpose. Welcome to 2025. It came so fast, but we're here, and I'm glad that you're here. I hope 2024 was the year you needed it to be, and that in 2025, you're trying new things, you're going to new places, you're making new friends, you're discovering new things about yourself, even, and just enjoying what is present for you. Today, I have a guest again, and I know you guys love her. You guys have been watching the past couple of episodes where Stacey joined us. Yes, cat's out the bag. Stacey joined us to share a lot of her insights and expertise on not just how to love yourself better, but how to be in community with others in a way that allows you to not compromise your love for self, who you are, and what you desire to do in this life. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Stacey Singh. Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to 2025.
Welcome. We are here.
Yeah.
We are here.
You know, many of you, I don't know what part of the new year you're watching this, because the new year can last about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on it could be 2 to 3 weeks. It could be, 2 to 3 days. It depends on your energy. But this year has already shine its light. It's very bright, and I feel that. I know there is a lot that has happened in the first week of the year, but I am blessed to be able to say that it feels really good. And I attribute a lot of that to the work that I did in 2024. Yeah.
Yes, it's just been a constant evolution, revolving, just getting access to spaces about within myself. And I'm just so proud of me. I'm just so proud of it. I'm proud of the process. Yeah. So
Did you do anything special to bring in a new year, or different from?
Different, yes. Special, no.
Okay. I mean, the new year itself is special, but it's nice to just be.
So the last episode, we spoke about resonating from here. Right? And I just stopped and I thought about, how do I want to do this? That is not, this is the way you should be doing it. And I made it a regular day.
Yeah.
I used the whole day to set my intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided to take a shower, relax. I sent out my text messages and calls, and I thought I was going to sleep. I was preparing for bed, and I just laid there, cozy, comfy. Nothing grand. And I was okay with that.
I love it. I love it. It sounds very similar to what my evening was like as well. I did spend the week periodically doing cleaning, like washing clothes and all these things. Not necessarily in preparation for the new year. I used to live by, you can't bring in a new year with dirty dishes. You can't bring in a new year with clean clothes. And I was like, I mean, I'll get it done, but it wasn't like I have to get these things done. It was like if it got done, it got done. If it didn't, that's okay. 2025 is still coming. But I did feel different than any other year. This same level of expectation for great things, but it was calm. Maybe because I typically have company over. I didn't have any company over. It was just my daughter and myself. And she was actually asleep up until like 10 minutes before the ball dropped. And then we watched the ball drop and cheers with some grape juice. And that was that. And it was beautiful.
I love that for you. I realized that I cared for none of it. Absolutely. I cared for none of it. I was like, oh, maybe I should be doing something. And then I reflected on all the years I made sure that I did something. And I did not have a good time in those years. It was
Yeah.
overcrowded. It was like forced to make something happen. And I said, no, I release all of that. I release this is what it need to look like. I released it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
Freeing.
what it is.
It's
And
so freeing.
it is. It is for the first time. I was not concerned about what am I doing for New Year's Eve and how am I bringing it in. There wasn't a noisemaker, nothing.
I just said that when I woke up. I was like, wait, I don't have any 2025 glasses, but they would go in the garbage in about 3 weeks anyway, 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, I'm very pleased with how it went. And I think uh, the holidays in itself are just a hectic time. And it's nonstop, right? So if
Mhm.
you get caught up in the cycle, it's like a whirlwind every month in your life. I was I shop I think I was like Christmas shopping and I saw like Valentine's stuff. And I was like, can we slow down? Can we slow down? Because
I
Christmas is
release
not
it.
here yet.
I release
Can we
it.
slow down? Yeah, so I totally feel that for sure. I think, well, viewers, many of you know that I'm a self-care advocate and not to solely be focused on self, but to become a better self requires the same amount of nurturing and care and love and support that we often give to others and rarely give to ourselves, especially as women, as mothers. So, today we're talking about our self care practices and why they are so crucial to our well being, our success, and our ability to thrive. With Stacey, our ability to thrive. So I'm not gonna put too much out there. I will let her to when sidebar. When you have friends, when you truly have friends that you love and adore and they are phenomenal people and they have amazing abilities and you know the trajectory for their life is great. If you truly love them, you want to celebrate them at every moment, everything that they do. So, excuse me if sometimes I get super excited about the things that my people are doing because I'm part of the journey and I see the transformation, the growth, and just the amazingness oozing from them. That's 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 the vibe that we have over here, and I'm excited about it. So yeah, back to self care. Stacey, what does self care mean to you?
You said something a second ago, and then you corrected yourself. And it's like not remembering, but like prioritizing
Mm,
yourself. Self care, we have learned that self care is in the things that we do outside of what can we attain, and how can we spend money to attain these things. Self care we learned was something that we needed in order to be a better self as a self mastery coach and just going through just the life, the trials of it and getting it wrong and realizing that, hey, that didn't bring me happiness and that didn't bring me contentness. And, the whole process was like, this process isn't real. I followed what everyone said to do. And when I say everyone, I use that really loosely, right? But I followed the advice of what needs to be done. And I still wasn't connecting to myself. So that facial wasn't it. That honestly, going to the gym wasn't quite it. It was the work that I really did inside of me. And not saying that going to the gym, cannot be of benefit, but that's self maintenance. And we need to learn the difference between self maintenance and really learning how to care for self. It's in the words. How do you care for yourself? Do you care about yourself? What are some things that you do for others when you care about them? And lots of times it is priceless,
yeah,
right? You listen to them. When you care about someone, you listen to them. So, guess what? Self care, if I care about myself, I'm going to listen to my emotions. I'm going to listen to that intuition. I'm going to listen to my gut. I'm going to listen to my head. I'm going to listen to that pain in my back. We're going to listen, right? If someone needs you and they're like, hey, I'm really going through this moment and I really need someone, you show up.
right.
No questions asked. If they're really valuable and they matter in your life, you show up. How do you translate that to yourself? You show up for yourself. This is what I need, and I need to show up for myself. So, like going back to what you said before, is like really be selfish, not a little selfish, be extremely selfish. That's what self care means to me. Be as selfish. Go ahead and give it a shot because we get this idea and we've been programmed, I like that word. We've been programmed to think that selfish is a bad thing. Selfishness is where it begins. I'm not saying to go out and go against and hurt and be malicious, but when I make sure that I am operating from my optimal capacity, like I'm really sitting in my best and I'm really loving on myself and I'm content and I'm in a good mood, how much more can I show up for you? How much more? I want to show up for you. I want to bring all that joy. I want to bring that into your life. It gives you something to strive for. Like it's not in me telling you what to do. It's me showing up and you going, can I get some of that? What you had?
Right. Babe, it's about caring for self.
Caring in the meaning of the term. It's right there. How do you care for yourself? So that's what self-care means for me. It's not, I'm going to go get my nails done and my lashes done. That's cute. That's maintenance. You want to look good because guess what? You can do all of that and not care for yourself and still because you're doing that for the outsiders, right? Because when you go outside, unless you go to the bathroom or you pull out that little pocket mirror, you ain't seeing yourself no more for the day unless you pass in someone's storefront. So while you think you're doing it, everybody else is looking at you. But you're left with how you feel. You're left with what you packed on the inside. You're left with your beingness.
Left with your beingness. That's a word.
It's recorded.
Because you're in communication with yourself all day.
All day, all day.
That is really big. And it is so critical, the emphasis on being selfish. And I know there are people, we're not talking about any of you viewers, but we know there are people who love to wear a mask of being selfless people and putting others first. And it often looks like people pleasing. And there are a lot of ways in which we've convinced ourselves that we are better for it, right? But I think about, you all know I'm a Christian woman, I think about the scripture in Matthew where it says, others as you love yourself.
Love who?
Love others as you love yourself.
Girl, say one more time for the people in the back because I don't think that went over people's head.
Love others as you love yourself. And I think especially when it comes to being in relationship with people, and not just romantic, but just friendships, family, colleagues, whomever, it is literally almost impossible for you to love them well if you are not loving yourself well. We call it whatever we call it. We identify it however we identify it. But if you are not in a place to know what it is to be loved by you, to be nurtured by you, to be supported by you, how do you know that that is what others are experiencing when they encounter you? Child.
That gave me chills. It gave me chills because when you are loving someone, it made me think about how I love and how hard I went to love others. And like really putting my best foot forward and my cup was empty.
Yeah.
Because it was all going out, all going out. And while they're getting what they need and you're the best thing since sliced bread to them, they don't know how to reciprocate that and not realizing that this is what I need, right? I'm giving you who I am. I'm giving you my essence, but wasn't keeping because people pleaser right here, right? And I realized that I love that about myself. I do love to please others, but I had to include myself.
Yeah.
One time I was doing a workshop and just going on about my business and so used to be, telling how strong you are and all these great things. And someone came out and they was like, I see a martyr. And I was like, and that hit. And sometimes it's the little things that make you recalibrate. And my life flashed before my eyes and saw just how I was being one.
Yeah.
right? So I had to regroup. I had to reset, regroup, because that word didn't resonate with my intention.
Mm,
It was not
I
in alignment, but it was a mirror. I needed it. And it was like, okay, this will be the last time somebody called me that. And when you show up with others, while you're giving that, I realized while I was giving that 100%, I was
mhm.
cutting them short because my 100% wasn't 100%. What is 100% of 25? If I want a 25% and I'm giving you all of that, I mean, like, you getting low grade 100%. It might be my 100%, but it's low budget 100%,
That's a fact. That
right?
is so real.
So let me get myself to 100% and then give you from that 100%. And what I was able to share and really divulge and receive and allow people into my space just turned out to be even more beautiful.
Yeah. You said something really powerful about operating from a low place and trying to do above and beyond. Because that's what it is when you are not, your cup is not full, but you're
It was
pouring.
like squeezing a rag.
Yeah. And a scenario or experience that I had with a group of people came to mind where, they're used to encountering this or not, like this type of communication interaction. And that is just not the communication I had that day.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's just not where I was that day. And someone in the group said to me, like, you just not yourself. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, are you okay? Right. And in that moment, I was like, in my head thinking, I'm not okay, but I'm here, right? I made this commitment to be here. I agreed. I don't want to break my word. I'm a loyal person. But really inside, I'm tired of y'all. Right? And I think sometimes we worry about people being offended because we didn't keep our word. We didn't show up. We didn't do what we said we would do, or we weren't present in the way they wanted us to be present. And now everybody loses.
Mhm.
Everybody loses. So it's just interesting to me to have this conversation and think about ways this has played out in my life. Where it's like, yeah,
We all do it. Well,
don't do
not
that
we
no
all,
more.
a lot of us. And we get mad at those when you're like, she's selfish, or he's selfish, or, egotistical, or we got so many labels
Yeah,
for those that are fully taking care of themselves.
right.
And that's not to say sometimes it's not true. Sometimes, it can cause harm, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure that you have empathy with it.
Mm,
Selfishness is the goal.
hmm.
It's the goal. And we need to readjust and redefine what that means. Yeah, it's an ugly word when you mean it, like what's your intention behind it? But we're in a world where we need to be full of self.
Yeah,
Be full of yourself.
yeah. That's for sure. Do you have any specific go-to activities that help you throughout the day? Not just to be in a self-care practice, but even just remind you of like, this is a moment I need to take to myself.
So remember, I did say I really transferred it from being something that I needed to do on the outside and became more self focused.
Hmm.
Practices I do, considering it's a maintenance, but this is how I turn this into care, right? So when I'm getting ready in the morning for a day and I know I'm going to do something, even if it's simple, I look towards my future self. Like, that's who's standing. There's the real me and there's the future me in the mirror. And I'm having a mental conversation because I do think I'm a little crazy when I'm talking out loud. And for some, that works. Like, I challenge you because I think there is like a magic in your voice. Your voice is your vibration. So go ahead and use it and manifest and speak into existence the things that work for you. But talking to the mirror hits a little different for me, right? But I'm having a mental conversation and I'm like, what it look like over there? What are you doing? What are we getting ready for? And I'm not getting ready for my day when I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for her day. So I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Oh my goodness, we having a conference? How many people are going to be there? Oh, well, maybe we need to wear that red lipstick. That red lipstick, make sure, nope, that liner don't match. Let's go ahead and get that liner. Check your teeth. You know, what color eyeliner we wearing on? Do we want to pop? Do we want to be subtle? Like, we want a little bronzer. I'm going into that. That's self care to me. Like the relationship with myself and my goals. That's self care to me. Taking a moment to realize this is another thing is just what's stirring up inside of me.
Yeah.
Acknowledging, listening, questioning it. Is this true?
Mm.
If it's not true, whose voice am I listening to? Where did this come from? That's self care. Is this the person that I would ask for advice?
Mm.
If it's not, why am I now letting them run my life? That's self care. Put that back in order. Realizing that I just need to take a beat.
Yeah.
And taking a beat it can mean pausing, but it doesn't necessarily mean pausing. But I take many beats throughout the day. I'm taking beats in this conversation where I'm just taking a moment to feel my seat, ground me back instead of being in the noise, and
Yeah.
in Sanskrit it's called rajas, like just the motion of everything, feeling my feet on the floor. And then I realize I'm stepping on a cord that I didn't quite. There's so many things going on around us that we don't quite realize because we're so busy in the midst of it all. But take a moment to really find out what's going on before you and, what are you surrounded by? So taking many of those moments, being with the present. Those are some things. Listening. There's so many things, girl. I got a whole list of it. I have a whole practice. I did a whole program on this.
Yeah, and yes, you have. One really quick thing that resonates with me about the being still and being present and observing your surroundings and the impact it's having on you or the impact you're having on your surroundings. I have made a commitment to not rush. Like, I do not want to be rushing, right? And that's an extreme commitment. That's an extreme commitment in New York City, but it'll just require that I wake up earlier, that I'm more intentional about my planning. Things happen. And will there be days where I'll need to be rushing through something? Possibly, especially when I'm at the mercy of something else, right? Out of my control. However, that commitment came from a place of me wanting to take time to be present and being intentional about my self-care and knowing myself enough to know I operate best, I'm most compassionate, I'm most courageous, I'm most, powerful when I've taken the time to ground myself and be present where I am and what I'm doing. And I think we as a people currently in the world that we live in all try to move at the pace of our smartphones. It's just like, let the smartphone be the smartphone and let the human be the human, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel the same way with not wanting to rush.
Mhm.
And the most loving way I had to tell myself was, I'm giving myself what I want and I need. I
Yeah.
enjoy taking my time. I cannot rush through that conversation in the morning when I am getting ready with my future self. Like, girl, what we doing? That is causing chaos.
It's just hectic. It
It's
sounds
causing
hectic.
chaos. I don't know where I'm going, and everybody know me. Like, I will leave the house and not know where I'm going, just knowing that I'm gonna figure it out on the way there. I know who I need to call. I have everything in place to figure out how I'm getting there. If I leave in 2 hours, I might get there in 20 minutes. That means I got an hour and 40 minutes extra when I get there. But I am going to set it up to where I'm not running late for what works for me. Once you just look at it as what do I need in this moment to give myself that ease, which is caring for ourselves. This is what I want to do, being intentional, being selfish. It makes for a great day. So now you're not just looking at the regular me when I step out. This is a version of the future me,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm bringing her, like, she got to come with me because we setting it up. And that's going to be in every movement, everything that I now do throughout the day. I'm bringing the essence of the end goal.
Yeah. The end goal.
Yeah.
Bible said, know the end before the beginning. Know the end from God. Know the end from the beginning. So what we're talking about is really beautiful. It's really pretty. It's packaged really nice. It feels good. It feels attainable. It's amazing. Now, what happens when something comes to wreck that intention? Stress, transition, unwanted interactions. How do you get yourself to a place where you potentially respond to it, but are not necessarily reacting to it in a way that is not aligned with where you want to be in yourself emotionally, mentally, physically?
So it does sound easy peasy, right? And it's important that
I
it's, yeah,
I have crashed out.
so have I. And I still do crash out. It's just not outwardly,
Yeah.
it's inwardly. And the beauty of it not being outwardly and more so inwardly is because I've done the work and I'm able to catch it when it's still a seed.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't catch it and it has grown roots
Mm-hmm.
and started to pop out the soil, because you can tell when it's popping out the soil. That's when you get the I got something for you.
That's a fact.
Listen, you could tell when it's being watered when they come back when they come back. Or the universe or whatever it is, it gives you back a response and you're like, oh, and you giving me some sunshine? Growing, baby. Trunk of the tree, here I come. And you outside. So,
That's me in the car in the traffic seat. Ooh, baby.
so it's important when it's still that seed. Sometimes seeds don't catch, or seeds don't make it, right? And when you're in that space, it's like, oh, okay, what are we going to do? You get to reflect, you get to decide what you're doing. So, what I do is take that beat. The practice of doing it when it feels good reminds you that it's there, right? So it's like repetition. It's making it a lifestyle, not just something that you're trying when times get hard. Trying to meditate to calm yourself down because you heard that is good when you are in the heat of the moment is not going to help you. But as you support yourself with the tools that you need on an everyday basis, it's easier for you to pull. You go, oh, maybe I should try taking a beat because you know how it feels. And let's just test it out. Okay, I'm going to feel my feet on the floor. You feel it settle. It starts to settle. Now, if you're at a 10, don't be realistic. Don't expect it to bring you down to a 0. The goal is to come down. So if you're in the heat of it, be really, really proud and celebrate yourself every moment that you get. Woo, that was a 10. I'm at a 7 now. The 7s aren't good, but it's better than the 10.
Better than a 10.
Give yourself the pat on the back that I didn't punch you in the face and I just choked you up. Sometimes that is the progress. That is the goal. Like,
I mean,
it's where you are. And people like to judge where people are in the moment, but you don't realize that this is a better version of myself. And it's not that it needs to be condoned. I'm a work in progress. Right.
right.
So now we learned how to make 7 our baseline for getting upset. We don't even hit 10 anymore.
Yeah.
Now we're at the 7. Next time you sit there and you go at it, you get, whew, I didn't make it to a 7 this time. Now I'm at a 5. 5 is like, it's still bothering me. You know, things are still coming up. How do I handle this? So it's a continuous practice. And before you know it, it starts going lower and lower and lower. Does it still? Then you just catch it right there as it started. Just like, whoo, you know what? I'm not even going there with you. So now we don't even make it to a 5. We're living in the 2, 3, 4 category, you know, and we need certain levels of, and I'm using this loosely, right? We need certain levels of pain and chaos to shift us. So we don't want to get rid of it. We need to be able to tap into it so that we can align, know that this is not what I want. And sometimes we don't know what we want because we don't want to know what the future holds. Things are steadily evolving. By the time we figure out and get into the habit of something, it's time for change.
That's a fact.
That's old school. So it's like this is what I need. I know I don't want to go that way. So it's
Yeah.
important to know what you don't want to do and let that help to guide you into, as long as I veer away from that way, I'm going to go in the right direction. And make sure you have something to guide you, like know what your values are, know what's most important to you. In my program, I teach you about how to really find what your values are, what's most important, and not just, oh, the top 10 or the top 3 or the top 2. Like when you come down to your 2 very important values, like what do? One is a little more important than one, and you need those things in place to guide you and help you to make those decisions in those rough moments, knowing that it's going to be rough, like preempting what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, like giving yourself, there's so many things that you can do. Yes, it gets rough and it gets crazy, but if you are selfish enough to do the work on yourself and spend time with yourself and not care what anybody else says, you are going to make it through those rough times because they're wanted and they're needed.
Yeah. And as intentional as we are about being our best selves or better selves, there is growth happens, right? The challenges allow us to grow. So the expectation that those won't be as intentional as we are about our growth is just not realistic. The thing that is sticking out for me really is intentionality and wanting to care for self and wanting to cultivate better relationships if that is the goal. It's different strokes for different folks. But as we embark on this new year, I understand, as someone who has made shifts and changes throughout my life, that intention is not enough, that we have to really do the action, right? And create opportunities for us to implement these new practices and approaches to the way we do life. What would you say is the best way for people who want to incorporate a new self care activity? Maybe it's like meditation. For me, it's prayer, right? Like in the morning, evening, that is my goal. I want to pray when I wake up, pray when I go to sleep. Do I fall asleep without praying? Absolutely. So, like, what can we do to support ourselves in a new year in these adjustments where they are lasting and not just first week of January activities?
So, as we're speaking to adults,
Mm-hmm.
right? Individuals that have had life experiences, block out the outside noise. Figure out and listen to what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? It doesn't matter about the 5 o'clock club, the 5 a.m. club. It doesn't matter if you got up and did it 3 o'clock in the morning, a.m. People got nighttime jobs. Our lives are uniquely designed to suit us. So figure out something that you can do that works for your schedule, and start easy. Don't and that's why I'm not into the whole New Year's resolution things. But start easy with something that you can commit to, right? So if it's prayer, don't say I'm going to pray for 15 minutes. Pray for 15 minutes every morning. Sometimes your prayer is going to be 1 minute because you're going to start feeling the repetition in it, and it might feel uncomfortable, like, oh, I prayed for that already. Oh, this is becoming boring. But the prayer can just be, God, guide my footsteps today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just be intentional and being in that moment with relationship between you and God. Sometimes it's just the feeling. Help me to feel, help me to listen, help me to hear, help
Yeah.
direct me, show me the signs. Like it can be really, really simple. So that'll be one thing. The other thing would be to commit to something.
Mm-hmm.
Commit primarily to yourself. Because when we're doing things for other people, if we said we're going to be there at 2 o'clock every day, we're fussing at people.
They
You're
can
making me late.
count on
They can
you through thick and thin. A
a friend.
friendship that can we be a
Exactly.
friend to ourselves?
Right. Count on yourself. Show yourself. A problem that we normally have is that we don't trust ourselves.
Mm.
We know you're not sticking to that. I
Mm.
know when you said it, you wasn't sticking to it, but we'll try. We'll try. So now we gaslighting ourselves.
My God, today.
right? So, like, really be in that space of commitment. Do not lie to yourself.
Do not lie to yourself. That's big. And as someone who's like has a visionary type personality, it's like I want to do all these things,
Hmm.
but I have about this much time. So I've been trying to figure out how my new year is going to consist of all these things, right? And setting ourselves up for failure.
Failure.
Setting ourselves up for failure.
And
And it's
we,
not really about realistic, it's more about being intentional with and understanding what you need right now and like being able to take the baby steps and sometimes larger steps towards the ultimate goal, right? Instead of having everything happen right now. Maybe the prayer is the catalyst for like the journaling that you could then end up doing in 2 months from now. But trying to do everything on January 1st, babe, be stressed out.
you will be stressed out. And we lie to ourselves in so many different capacities, right? We lie. You made an example earlier with the I'll show up, but you really didn't want to be there. That's lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? We lie to ourselves when we're approaching relationships. We lie to ourselves with releasing the weight. We lie to ourselves about so many things in so many areas and start to document. And when I say document, it could be mental documentation, but start like you're lying to yourself right now. And
Mm.
why I say that is because we get so upset when someone else is lying to us and not being truthful. And we need to realize that that's the energy that we're putting out. People can see us. And guess what? They know when it come out of our mouth that we lying. It's not their job to challenge you. And it's like sometimes they're being hopeful and maybe, or that doesn't concern me, or that's your life. Whatever you do with it is on you. But they see you, and guess what? If they see you, they're gonna treat you as such.
Yeah.
That's the vibration that you're setting out. So now you're upset when you attract that type of energy to you because you got some people in this world that like them a good liar. A good liar meaning it's gonna be a little dramatic. We down to get down. We got a little gossip in us. Like it got a lot of stuff that comes with that lying. That's going to attract those lie seekers to you. Lying don't necessarily got to be a negative thing when you're building community, but what kind of community are you building? And then
That
you mad at others.
you inching into a whole nother episode, but
Listen.
continue, stay right there.
And then we mad at others when or we not even mad, but we want to hold somebody else responsible for what we started, not realize that we planted
For
that
the
seed.
catalyst, we
We
initiate.
are the catalyst. We initiated it, right? It makes me think of you ever got mad at somebody, like really, really mad because you told them something private and they went and told somebody else. The nerve. How dare you be mad at them?
When
Your
you
secret was so darn good that you couldn't even keep it to yourself. That was itching your tail parts.
it
It
was
was,
supposed to go this way, and instead it went this way, and now you mad
you
at everybody.
couldn't wait to see them. To go, let me tell you what I did or they did. And now, guess what? They got the same feeling. They want to share it and juice it up too.
Right.
And you're mad, you're not talking to them, you in an argument, but you wasn't supposed to direct that anger back to yourself.
Accountability.
Accountability, like we get into full out wars over something like that. So how do you take that and apply that into your own life? Like you really, and this is all part of being selfish.
And trust in self. Learning to
And
trust.
trust in self. Selfish don't mean that all the good stuff come here. Like you get to do the work. No, right now I got work to do. I can't even rock with that right now. I hear you, your advice. That's cool. That's not working for me. That's actually going against. Well, that is part of being selfish. No, I cannot go there right now. No, I cannot listen to that. That sounds great, but that's not going to work for me. Know yourself. I
Yeah.
think we got off the question, but
It's fine. It was a much needed conversation. I appreciate the opportunity to be in conversation about self-care and shift from the idea that it's manis, petties, hair appointment and fine dining and
Come on now.
Those are all great, great experiences. But if we're talking about evolving in the way we love ourselves, real self care practices are a clear indicator that you're on the path. Not because you ain't got your nails done.
No, no. But it is important because people do judge what they see. And you do
Mhm.
need to hold yourself to a certain stand, and they respect you according to how you show up.
That is
When you
true.
take care of yourself, you let them know it's a message, an unspoken message that there's a possibility you're going to take care of my stuff too. It's
Yep.
like going on a job interview. It's like the way you show up. If you come in with a dirty t-shirt and, some wrinkled pants, if you can't take that moment for yourself, I'm
Right.
not quite sure if I need you to represent my company because somebody's going to see you. So, yeah, that stuff is important in maintenance and showing your value and your worth. And you're letting people know that this is what I see for myself. This is how I care for myself. So I need you to trust me on this level. Is your introductor. Does
Mm,
that make sense? I think I made a word, but it's your representative. It's your representative.
yeah.
And you don't want it to be bad.
Absolutely. I've been thinking about my weight release goals over the years because it comes back. I achieve it and then I'm back at it again. And I think one of the things, I haven't made this commitment yet. I'm ruminating on what it really could be for me and whether it is a diet thing that I need to commit to, but I've drastically shifted my diet. I really think it is a fitness thing that I need to commit to. So I am very appreciative of the fitness challenge we have begun today. However, I understand that that is a place in which I need support, right? It's left to me by myself. I'm not gonna work. I'm not gonna work out, right? But having a challenge that encourages me to reach a goal where other people are involved, like I joined a step challenge at work for the new year. So, like, there are multiple opportunities for me to be in community around this goal, right? What advice would you give someone who needs that level of support, but maybe on the path on their own? Because people make decisions about their life and friends don't always come with. So, like, what do you do? I have thoughts, but I'm curious of like what that could look like, what you envision that could look like.
So, kind of like what I did with you is it's something I started already, but I'm not going to lie to myself.
Hmm.
Because the numbers were big, 100, right? And doing that every day the first couple of days. But when the muscles start to get sore, you don't want to do it no more. Yesterday, them 100 sit ups was, baby, I ended at 11:11.
Oh, I can do like I'm at like 1, 2%.
So that's why there wasn't a whole lot of rules behind it. You get to modify what it looks like for you,
Hmm.
right? And I never said in a row. A row. I'm adding extra letters to words, but either way, I never said in a row. That's for the day. Now, do not think at any capacity I am doing it in a row. I cannot do it in a row. None of it. I break it up. I did 10 squats this morning,
That's me.
right? So
That's me.
I'm like, by 12 o'clock, this 100 need to hit because my legs are sore. 11:11 last night, I finished the sit-ups, right? And I realized like they're different things. So what I would say is I reached out for support
Mm,
so that I can have a partner. Now, and I'm not just speaking of you, I know that I've done this enough times that sometimes the partnerships melt away, and that's okay, right? But you think it, you bless it, you think it, and you keep on pushing. That was the motivation you needed for that amount of time. But find something that you can do. Give yourselves the give yourselves the challenges that you need to give. Like, be realistic. What do I need in this moment? And don't chicken out on yourself. If you had a friend, I'm gonna keep doing this because this is what we do. We do it for other people, but we don't do it for ourselves. If we had a friend and you see them falling off of something that you know is extremely important, that is transformational to their life, you pull up on their socks like, I thought you said you're not drinking milk anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That has milk in it. Like, pull up on yourself, realign, push yourself. You only got 3 more to do. Go ahead and do those 3. What, you quitting on yourself now? Like, you will not. There's no way. And your friend loves you for it. You're their go-to person. You're the bestie. That's how you became besties, because they know you, they ride or die.
Right.
But for yourself, be your right to live.
Mhm.
Exchange that energy and give everything that you put out into the world to yourself. So find a community. If that doesn't work for you, find something on YouTube University. It got all types of stuff. If you want mobility, if you want cardio, if you want calisthenics, if you want weightlifting, you can do it in the privacy of your own home. You can do it with your family. Heck, I've seen people doing it with their pets. The dog is in downward dog situation, doing push-ups and all that. Like, really figure out, and it feels silly at first, but push past it feeling silly. Girl, my hands look ashy. It's all ashy, but that's okay. Ain't about the hands. But commit to the process. Like, and it feels silly. If you're going to the gym and you don't know how to use the machines, just know that this is a normal feeling. You're not the first person that felt like this. You won't be the last person that felt like this. Some people been coming to this gym every day for the past few years. You just showed up. They know by looking at you the moment you walked in that you don't know how to use that darn machine. Okay? They go
And
through
there's
this.
a lot of people right now in the gym that don't know how to use the
Some
machine.
people wait. They're sitting there waiting for you to talk on your phone, post your video for the first week when they really want to get. So now they got to find a new schedule for this wave of New Year's people. You're in their way. And the
I
only way you get out of their way and ask them to help you. Don't insult them.
make friends, do
Make friends. How does this work? Instead of sitting there acting like, no, the only thing you know how to use is the treadmill. Maybe. Push yourself past the discomfort of it and be willing to look a little crazy. You
Mhm.
love your friend when your friend look crazy, right? You actually love them even more because you see the vulnerability, you see the authenticity. Like, give yourself the freedom and allow people to see that party. This is the selfish part. Be so selfish that people love you in your authenticity, love how you show up. Not just the perfect, they don't want the perfect parts of you because it's a lie. You cannot maintain that. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm starting to get passionate.
And it's real. Like
You can't
I
maintain this. You know me, I'm silly as all silliness. I'm down for the shenanigans all the time. But you also know that I'm passionate, I'm serious, like, I'm not going to embarrass you. Sometimes you got to get off the roller coaster with me because I can put you on the roller coaster. Like, girl, we be going down. And I know when I need to separate there's a person that I be sitting there, like, I see them come, I'm like, this is not going to be good for me if we sit together. It's not going to be good. It's not.
he won't get nothing accomplished.
Nothing done. I'm gonna get you in trouble and you're gonna get me in trouble. Like,
Uh
know yourself. Know yourself. So we need to sit across, and I need to sit in a position where we're not seeing each other. Because if I look over there, your 2 eyes and my 2 eyes make 4, is over. Over. But it doesn't stop me from being the empathetic, being the loving, being the kind. I just think life is fun and you need to enjoy it. I get to feel both. I get to think that that's silly and still do transformative work around it.
right. Understanding that tomorrow is not promised.
It's not
So all you have is
promised.
today.
Listen and love that part of me. Find the parts of you that you love. So figure out what works for you. To get back to the questions, like, figure out what works for you. Be real to yourself. I'm not going to tell you about the diet because you got to learn about what your body chemistry is, because everyone's like, I'm going to do diet. Maybe it's not diet for you. Maybe it's taken, and maybe you need to learn. Maybe you need to read the labels and find out what's in the food. Maybe you actually need to eat more. Like, it's not a cookie cutter. It might
Yeah.
be hormonal. Like they say, once you turn 30, they ain't never lied about that. Once you turn 30, your body, so just imagine it changes when you turn 40. I can't be that, but I know that all of it, like I've done meal preparation. I've watched diabetes like completely reverse. They said you cannot revert. You can heal these things. Like I've watched weight shed off. Like I've been in do things that support you. And then when your workout buddy falls off, like you got to recalibrate. And if you fall off, forgive yourself. Don't start over next week. Start over the next meal. Start over the next day. Like, don't give yourself that gap because you've done it enough. Because we're speaking to adults, we've done it enough to know what works and what does not work. So stop lying to yourself. Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. Oh, I'm going to do it. Like, really give yourself something real and
Yeah.
reset and regroup. Every day is a new day. Don't just wait for the new year. Every season, Happy New Year. Mine's is my birthday. Happy New Year. It's like every day is a new beginning. January 1st ain't it?
I'm completely aligned there. I mean, mic drop, really. That is not just everything we all need to hear, but also so critical to our life. Like, I think we have attached this conversation to self-care and goals, like New Year goals rather, but in general in our life, like this is the approach we have to take if we want to see ourselves evolve at all, right? Who we were in our teens is not who we are today. And there were enough stuff happen for us to understand who we are, what our likes or dislikes are, what motivates us, what is, a hurdle for us, whether it is in our personality, action. So like, as Stacey said, let's not lie to ourselves about what we want, because when it doesn't look the way we need it to look, or it's not happening the way we intended it to happen, then all of a sudden we lie to ourselves that we don't want it and we revert back to poor actions and behaviors that don't serve us. So let's not lie to ourselves and be real and authentic about like what we want and how we're gonna get there. Get your buddy, get your support system, whether it's you in the mirror, like Stacey said. I love that. I was thinking about putting affirmation stickers on my mirror,
Do it.
decals. So that's like very much in line with what I'd like to do over the next few weeks and incorporating this conversation with my future self. I love that. I love.
Yes, very important. Get over all the things, and I'm saying it loosely. I know it's not going to be as easy, but get over all the things that you dislike about yourself.
Mm.
Face it. Face it. There was a time when I couldn't stand looking at myself in the mirror because I was listening to the programming of I was my mother's ugliest child. So what I told myself was, what that translated is, you're ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And while I would get ready, yeah, but I wasn't in that space of like really seeing me. I would
And
look so that I
enjoying.
can, right, enjoy me. I couldn't do.
Mm.
I couldn't do that. I would go into the mirror and okay, I'll fix my hair and lashes and whatever it is I need to do. Of course, there was makeup that was in the space. Makeup is different now. Right now, I put on makeup because it's fun. It's like personality. It's pops. When I was putting on makeup, then it was to cover up and to transform myself into something else. Figure out I didn't like that, and that bothered me a great deal. And I went to Dollar Tree and I bought like 10 mirrors for $1 when Dollar Tree was actually $1.
Okay, because what happened? Continue.
Right, that part. And I put the mirrors everywhere throughout my home that I had to see myself.
Mm.
So it wasn't there for decoration. Of course, I made it cute, but it wasn't there for decorative purposes. I put it as I'm getting ready to walk out the door. There's a mirror and it's all face level, face level. So when I got used to looking at myself and I'm not avoiding it, it doesn't, walking into the hallway, there was a mirror. In the kids' room, there was a mirror. Like, there I go again. I couldn't run. I couldn't. And then, over time, I started looking for things like, I like your eyes. Okay. Your nose isn't as big as the, because I was told all types of stuff, right? And while it was a process, it's something that I needed because you can't get to the next level without getting through this level. So, dependent on what your goals are for yourself, you must face all the things that you don't like about yourself. Because if you're going to tell yourself the truth, you need to tell yourself the truth and be present. You need to be able to like really be in your own company, be okay with being in your own company. And as a mom, having kids, we don't like the way life has happened to us, the gravity and the boobs that nursed, in the stomach that held, like, what is the new narrative that you're going to tell yourself about this body that did so many wonderful things and supported you in so
Miracle.
many ways, right? Like, it's miracles on miracles. You don't even know the capacity of the work that's going on inside of you as we sit and you listen. And as we're speaking, your body has your back. Find a way to love it, and what it looks like, keep in mind you did it to it,
Right.
and have the courage to be connected and committed to the transformation of it. Now that it has done its job from the time you were conceived, your body has been bodying, baby. Now it's time for you to pay it back and take care of it so that it can take you the rest of the way.
Yeah, that is just beautiful. I have no more to add. So that is really no, honestly, it's a beautiful sentiment that I think we all should sit with, and not just loving ourselves and our bodies, but knowing that we are responsible for what has happened to this point. And it's our responsibility to see it through. Our
It,
body is a temple and we only get one in
it
this life.
is.
Do you have any, if you want to share with us, any like specific goals around like your self care or body goals? I know what mine are. I'm just curious.
I got the typical midsection. My waist is good, but this little pooch right here,
Oh my God.
I want to work on that.
That visceral fat comes to try to wreck my day, but I got her under control. I
And you
got her
see,
under control.
mine, she not excessive, but she's soft and she kind of like folding and squeezing out of places that I don't quite want her to squeeze out of. She make the clothes. She gives it different bumps and waves.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on her. Just toning. Those would
Yeah.
be some things I would say that I would want to work on. Is it's toning.
I'm a lot. It's toning for me. One of the major things for me in terms of just my physique and my weight is being able to strut in heels again. Like I'm walking well in heels,
Okay.
but I want to strut like lightly, like prancing.
Okay.
And it needs to be like at least 100.
I
We have
love
some
that.
work to do.
I love that for you. I'm over the hills. I think they're cute, but
Really?
they're trying to be
Oh
cute.
my God. Well,
Now
I
I'll
love,
show up in them.
there was a point in my life for many, many years, I think until I had my daughter, where I only had like one pair of sneakers. I used to be a sneaker head, and then I was just like heels all the time, always in heels, like I was that person that wore heels to work, heels to
Me
just
too.
always in heels. But as I put on weight, like carrying myself around in heels, it's like just feels different. My calves are like, girl, what
I
you
didn't
doing?
stop to think about that. That might be the reason why I'm over it.
I'm because I love to wear them so much. I just know, especially I have some pairs that I've had for many, many years, and I'm like, these were comfortable. What happened? Oh, they're carrying more weight now. So
That could be it. That could be it. Because I'm like, they ain't worth it. They cute. They sexy. They
I
sexy.
love it. I love
But
heels.
I used to. I was overdressed. If we were going somewhere, you better believe Stacy was coming out. And I'm talking about teenage years, everything. Like, that's how we dressing. I was always the overdressed one in my group.
Yeah, yeah.
Gold buttons. I'm talking about skirt sets with gold but like
Love
It
it.
was a thing. It was a thing. And yeah, as I put on the weight, as I became more mature, so to speak, I didn't have that passion because my feet started hurting.
Yes.
And I was like, this ain't worth
Especially,
it.
especially after having my daughter, I feel like my feet swell and they never went back down. So now
It,
it's
it
a complete.
happens. It's a real thing. Every time I had a kid, it got a little bit bigger. Yeah. So you need new cute shoes because the old cute
Yeah.
shoes are going to hurt.
I'm excited for this glow up. Like, you guys stick around. Stacey is a frequent guest. We love to have her. She's
I love being here.
insightful and she's beautiful and she's funny and she's intelligent and she is a gift to us. Stacey, tell everyone where they can find you and learn more about you.
So on social media, you can find me at phe.mom.enal. That's phenomenal. And my website is staceysing.com or phe-mom-enal.com, phenomenal.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us in this conversation about self love, self care, our new outlook on ourselves. I definitely picked up a lot of gems that you dropped today. So I hope that you all have done the same. Again, Happy New Year to everyone. This a, a time where many of us look at it as renewal. And currently, I have on social media on Instagram at RDC with Love. We're doing 31 days of renewal. So if you need some insights or ideas daily to support you in thinking about what self care looks like for you or means for you, there's some prompts there that might support you and your loved ones with leaning into your self care at the start of the year. But we'll be back. We working on consistency, y'all. Y'all, if you've been following, if you've been watching, then you already know. You like, oh wait, up, up. Okay,
You're doing your thing,
We're
girl.
making shifts and adjustments and changes, and so I'm excited for Stacey to join me on this journey. And for all of you who watch and share and comment, and I'd appreciate if you comment on YouTube. So I know you guys like to text me and be like, oh, I love this show. But can you comment, like, subscribe on YouTube? That would be really awesome. I hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll be back next week celebrating and continuing conversations about the start of 2025. See you soon.